Welcome to Coming Up Roses. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Kelly, and today is Sunday, March 26th, 2023, and this is episode 92.
92. Wow.
92.
Been doing this for 2 years now, y'all.
Y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. Was looking through Facebook memories. This is going to end up being a real tough time of the year for us because, this is the 2 year anniversary of my mom passing, and March is when my dad died. Um, so March can suck it.
March can suck it. Your mom and dad
Um,
both died in March.
yeah. Dad 15 years or 16 years ago, the year we got married, and then mom 2 years ago. So, and but we get to have the corned beef and cabbage for St. Patty's Day, so there's that.
Yay.
Yeah, it's not all bad. That's I guess that's the point there.
Yeah. It's been a week around here.
Yeah,
Um, I've been sick probably since
it's been
last weekend at
yeah,
least.
it's been seemingly
It's
a
like it's
long
going on
time.
forever.
And Robin's sick too, so that makes it rough for you.
Both of us at work are sick, and the kids at school are constantly sick. Like it's just cycles of sickness. Um, and then we had one little girl who had like strep and just came back to school. I think she got strep a second time.
Jesus.
And then she came back and she had like Robin called it strawberry tongue, where tongue looked like a strawberry. And come to find out that that's a symptom of scarlet fever, which you get from untreated strep. So we had that fun stuff.
Nothing like a plague hitting the kindergarten.
Oh my. Um, but yeah, so it's been just congestion. And I've noticed since I had COVID last year that the common cold is not what it used to be for me,
Yeah.
because I used to get a
Well, your
cold
system's changed.
and I'd be through it in a few days, and it followed the same path. Like it would start with my head and nasal congestion, and it would move to my chest for a couple days, and then it'd be gone. And now it's just like
Just hanging out.
head congestion, but not like nasal congestion. And then it was like some coughing, and now it's back up in my head, and it's just very irritating. There were a couple of days that I could barely talk at work. It's just, it has not been fun. I slept a lot yesterday. Yesterday, I think I felt the worst that at for this whole week. Yeah, I think yesterday was the worst day.
Yeah, the Saturdays are not working out for you at all because I'm working.
It's not because you're working.
Well, that and you weren't feeling well, but I mean, the schedule change has been a challenge. So the Saturdays have not worked out because you pretty much have all day with nothing to do.
So you're saying that without you around, I have nothing.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that that's how it went down.
Well, yesterday I was sick
Yeah, I'm saying yeah.
and I didn't sleep much the night before, so I got a
Mhm,
lot of sleep yesterday
mhm.
and I lounged around. Um, and last Saturday,
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling great last weekend either. I don't equate that with your schedule changing though.
Oh, okay.
Everything's not always about you.
No.
Schedule change has been difficult with um, meals.
Yeah. Well, my lunch was gotten earlier because my lunchtime used to be after 5, and now it's usually before 5, like usually 4:30, and it's a little too early for everybody to eat but us. So,
I want to eat between 4:30 and 5:30 because of the fasting makes it
mm,
easier for me to get longer fasts in the next day. But no one else wants to eat that early, so it's just been that's been a challenge. And I haven't fasted at all this week though,
yeah,
because I'm taking cold medicine in the morning and I don't want to take it on an empty stomach. So
yeah,
I've been eating breakfast. Um, I haven't weighed myself all week, and normally I weigh myself every single day. I kind of just was like, you know what? Well, I'm not feeling good. I just need to do what I need to do and not worry about every pound. And I got on the scale this morning and I thought for sure I was going to be up like 5 pounds. And I was exactly at my lowest point where I was before I got sick. So that's good. But I think if I'm feeling better tomorrow, I'm going to try to, I don't know, I have to eat in the morning if I take medicine. And I don't want to be at school and not have medicine because then I'll be feeling crappy.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you could shift the time that you fast, but even then
I'd have to skip dinner.
Yeah, that doesn't work either. Because I mean, you don't have time to eat anything substantial for lunch, so
it'll work out.
Yeah.
You also pulled the deck apart.
Finally got that done. That ended up being a real project, and it's just me not really knowing what the hell I'm doing. I'm not the most handy people. I knew I had to tear the whole deck apart. There was no way around that. All the wood was rotten. The wood that was savable was just wasn't anything to attach it to, and I couldn't get the wood up because the screws were all stripped and shit. It was just not going to work. So we just pulled it all up and got it all to the dump. We get 24 visits to the stinky dump every year for free. Then after that, you got to start paying.
You only have
down to 3 left.
You've been to the dump 20 times in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
Unless they reduce the number of visits you get.
Maybe you only get 12.
Oh, that could be it.
Because there's no way January, February, and then not even all of March, you've been to the dump 20 times.
I've been a lot. I've been quite a few times, but you're right. It probably isn't 24. They probably did reduce it down to 12 or something.
I don't know.
But I've only got 3 visits left. So
for the whole year.
For the whole year. Now, one of them I know I have to do because the only thing I didn't get because I had to do the last bit of the dump runs on Friday on my own. So I didn't have Michael to help me, or Thursday on my own because I didn't have Michael to help me. I got these 2 concrete blocks that we pulled out of the ground, or I pulled out of the ground for where the posts were, and I just can't lift them up into the car on my own. I need his help with that. I just can't. But so yeah, that's gonna have to happen some other time, and I'm not going to the big dump for that because then if I get it to the big dump, then I got to lift it up out of the car and put it into one of their bins because the big dump you can go as many times as you want. And you either go to one of their bins and you just dump all the shit out of your truck or whatever you're at into the bin, or they have special bins for special shit, like if you have metal or if you have car batteries, paint, whatever.
Could we paint the concrete things and make them like little lawn ornaments?
You need somebody way more creative than me to do that. Oh, you are. Yeah.
Where we could find that person.
We actually probably could. We could put them out there and look like get one of them because we used to have in Suffolk. We used to have a bird feeder in our front yard, and we'd always make the trip to the pottery, and every now and again we'd have to get a replacement king frog, and it was always just the thing. We'd just make the trip out there and get king frog. It was pretty cool.
Well, I'm not going to chisel this concrete into a king frog.
No, but you put the king frog sitting on top of it, so it's like king frog sitting on a fucking boulder. I don't know shit. I'm just making shit up as I go along.
Yeah, but you guys did get some topsoil down and some grass seed.
Yes,
so
yes. And I find myself just waiting. I just want to see that first blade of grass pop up. Like you see the commercials where they're just grass is just growing wild and fast. The shit is false. Motherfuckers are lying through their teeth.
I mean, most people know that grass doesn't pop up overnight.
I know,
unless
but
you put sod down.
Yeah. I got good dirt. Dirt was fairly cheap. That was like $4.30 a bag or whatever at the depot. But the grass seed is expensive as hell. It was $25 for a 2-pound bag, not even a 2-pound bag. It was just like this big. The big bags were like $75. It's crazy. So we're definitely gonna have to get a big bag for when we do the big circle for where we need a lot of dirt for that. That's gonna. Yes. I don't know if we want to do a bunch of bags or if we want to see if we can get
I say we just buy 10-pound bags at a time. To buy 10 bags at a time and spread them.
Okay. Well,
The
then there we go.
truckload thing, get it all done at once, but I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah.
And usually whatever I suggest gets tossed out the window anyway. So
Yeah, that's how I live.
how do we both live that way?
Yeah, that's how it works. Tilly's got to stay.
Tilly, who we think this morning swallowed a dime
Pretty
at
sure she swallowed a
breakfast.
dime at breakfast this morning.
So now we're all eyes on Tilly because we don't have enough to worry about in the normal everyday progression of life.
Yeah.
And now I have to worry about whether or not she can make change for a dime.
I'm not going to keep it though. When I see it come out, I'm just going to be like, all right, there's the dime.
I gotta pick it up and oh my goodness. So with the schedule change, like we've been trying to cook a little bit more on your days that you don't work.
Yeah. And I made a mistake. I saw this video on TikTok. This girl took potatoes, and what they did was they cut a little flat part, set the tater down, put 2 chopsticks on either side, and then cut it in such a way that it would spread apart with little, like a pom pom. It's what they call them. And then you bread them a little bit and you cook them. And we attempted that, and that sucked ass. It was
not
really
good.
horrible. It was the execution, I'm sure, but it was just bad. It didn't work out at all.
It's hard to mess up potatoes.
Yeah, but we did,
especially when you fry them.
Yeah.
But we managed to do it. Yeah, they were not good. Tonight we're doing an old standby. We're just gonna do tacos. You can't really mess tacos up either.
Yeah.
But like trying to come up with things to eat every night is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Because I mean, the time constraints are ridiculous, and what are you going to do? So like during the week we're looking at fast and easy. So like tomorrow night the big plan is sandwiches, but we've got you get a chance to go to Harris Teeter in one of the freezer sections. There's a take and bake bread, and it's basically frozen bread, but you throw it in the oven for about 10 minutes, and it just heats it up. So it's really, really good bread. And they're like squares, about 4 inches by 3 inches or whatever.
I don't know. You have this thing where when we're talking about stuff, you like to give details on things that most people don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
But then the big details you don't think about.
Well, my thinking there is that somebody might decide, you know what, that sounds good. I might want to go and find this take and bake bread and check it out. And I want them to give them some description so that if they do decide, you know what, I'm going to go try that out, and you should, it's good bread, then they know what to look for. It's at Harris Teeter. It's called Take and Bake.
Kevin, in another life, I think, was a food critic.
Maybe.
Because he loves Yelp, and he goes to places and he has to leave his Yelp review. He's told people as we were leaving restaurants before what he had that was good. Just someone like we're passing at the door.
I know one of my favorite meals of all time. We went to La Marinella. It's a little seafood Italian place on where was it? It doesn't matter. So out by Shore Drive somewhere, and they had rockfish, and I had the last one. But I told this dude as we were walking out, I was like, the rockfish was fantastic, which is kind of a dick move because you can't get it. But
this is what I live with. Minute details of every. I had a couple nights ago I didn't sleep well, and my brain was kind of racing on like stupid things. Like I was bouncing back and forth between like stuff that I don't even know how I ended up thinking about it, but it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And I was trying to think of the name of Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character in Grey's Anatomy.
Which I immediately knew when she said.
Why that is in my head at
Denny.
2 o'clock.
By the way, it's Denny. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't need to finish the story. You just killed the story.
Oh, go ahead.
You know, we were listening to Tell 'em Steve Dave, and Get 'em kept doing that. He kept telling the funny part of the story while someone was mid-story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tramped all over the.
Well, keep telling the story.
No, it's fine. But I just even forgot where I was going with that. Oh, he can remember the simplest, most like non-meaningful things.
Vast.
And sometimes when we're watching Jeopardy, if it's a question about a comic book movie or a Marvel question or a Star Wars question or something that he knows just like nothing, he gets this attitude like you're an idiot if you don't know that. But then, you know, we come home today, we pull in the driveway, and I said, was that a stepladder just in the middle of the backyard? And he's like, a what? A stepladder? I don't see it. No, I said it's in the yard. So he gets out of the car and he goes, over here? Like, no, in the backyard. So he steps over and he looks, and he's like, no, that's not a stepladder. That's the wheelbarrow. I have to move that. So I look over and I'm literally right next to the wheelbarrow is a stepladder folded out like someone, I don't know what you were climbing up on top of in the middle of the yard. There's no tree. Right next to it. I'm like, no, do you see that? Oh, yeah, it's a stepladder.
Michael had it. I didn't have that.
That's not my point. Like, you don't see what you don't want to see. That's what I'm saying.
I gotta trash out. So, you know, it's fucked up.
Oh my God. It's so annoying. I shouldn't be annoyed by it, but I am, because then, like, this morning when we left and I left my watch, it's like, oh crap, I left my watch. I keep my watch in the same exact place every day. Same exact place. So he's like, I'll go get it. And he comes back, because I could not find it anywhere. It's right where
I just thought it was on the table, and I looked on the top of the table. And
he looks on the top shelf of the table, but not on the bottom shelf of the table.
That's a man thing, though.
But see, like,
Aunt Pat's laughing her ass off
when
right
you
now,
look
she
at
knows
the
that's
top,
true.
and the table is literally this big, it's not a big table. When you look at the top and you don't see it there, do you think to like drop your eyes down to the bottom?
I went and looked on the vanity.
Oh my God, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Oh Lord, there are days, man.
I pull it off most days. There's a couple times where I don't pull it off. So, what are you gonna do?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess I don't know what we're gonna do. Hold on, I'm trying to.
She's got an agenda.
No, but we were skipping all over the place on it.
Mm-hmm.
We took Dad went back to his doctor. Last month, Dad went to his doctor to see about coming off of his
the cancer treatment,
chemo medication. And he went off of it for a month. And I think he was feeling better. He seems more with it.
I think it did him well.
And so when they went back, of course, I'm sick and I wanted to go in and like talk. So I'm in the parking lot on the phone with my mom while they're talking to the doctor. But they decided to put him on half of his cancer medicine. They cut his dose in half. Basically just in an attempt to keep the cancer at bay, which it's been doing for the last 4 years or so. But when they prescribed him his medicine, when he first had cancer, he was double. Well, not double. Well, double the weight he is now. He's like lost about half of his weight.
He's lost a lot of weight.
So I'm
Cancer
hoping
doc's
that
no joke.
Just cutting they cut the medication in half. So we're hoping that he continues to get good. His hemoglobin was up and all of his blood work looked really good. So maybe that'll help. Who knows? I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else to talk about.
Well, we talked about everything on the list. So
I know.
That's good stuff.
It was a short episode.
Yeah.
We got nothing else really going on.
That happens sometimes, we got, we're adjusting to life just like everybody does. And, the stuff going on in the world is happening for everybody, inflation's still a thing, the banks collapsing and shit. That's happening.
I can't even stand to watch. I don't watch the news anymore.
Yeah.
Every single time I put the news on, I get pissed about something. And so I just don't watch.
The thing that I was worried about this week watching the news, they're talking about, they've actually been looking at it, and then I think they're moving forward with possibly doing it, but the government creating their own cryptocurrency. And essentially, it's going to be run by the Fed. It's and switching from physical money to cryptocurrency that's based off of the dollar. So that basically the government would be able to track every financial transaction, essentially killing all other cryptocurrencies. So like if you've got, honestly, folks, if you've still got money in any type of crypto, you go ahead and get it out.
I'm gonna have to go cash out my $7 in Dogecoin.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's not going to work out. Their government is going to kill it because they don't like competition. That's all it is.
Plus, I don't really want the government knowing everything I purchase.
Absolutely. And that's good. Hopefully they won't be able to pull it off or won't be able to pass it, because I think it is a huge intrusion on everything. They would be.
Because how long before they just decline your purchase because they don't want you purchasing something?
Not only that, they might say, well, we're going to limit your purchases based off of your social credit. And you can't even say it's not something that can happen, because it happened last year in Canada. There were people that were protesting the lockdowns, and Trudeau was locking up people's bank accounts. So don't say it won't happen, because it fucking did. So if you sit there and every transaction is controlled, basically controlled by the government, and they say, we really didn't like that Facebook post, so you're not going to be able to buy that car. Or, I understand you're trying to do this for your business, but we don't like the way you're doing your business. You're not, green enough for our taste. So we're just going to shut you down.
The problem with the government controlling shit like that is sooner or later, the government's not going to be on your side of things.
Yeah.
And then
absolutely.
What? I mean, because right now we are very it's either all this or all that.
When people freaked out when Donald Trump won the election, and it's honestly, it's one of the best videos on YouTube. Just watch 2016 election results. Just watching people freak out. It is the prime reason why you need to understand that the problem with government is that it's got too much power, and too much of that power is seated with the presidency. If you are that worried about who the president is, then there is too much power for that one person. And it doesn't matter who it is. If it's Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, whoever you want to choose, if they've got that much power that you're actually worried about who the president is, then that person has too much power. Period. That simple.
Has Joe Biden done as much with executive order as Obama and
I think so, yeah. He hasn't really.
Trump did a lot by executive order.
Yeah.
Obama did a lot by executive order.
Yeah. Well, and they've expanded that ability. That actually started under Bush, where he was doing a lot of executive orders, because everybody was like, well, this got to get done right away. Got to get done right away, because we got to do, all of this restructuring of government so that we can protect people in the homeland and all this. And, a lot of it stems from the original Patriot Act. So.
It just seems like every president just undoes what the president before them did.
Mm-hmm.
And that we're not making forward progress anywhere. We just keep undoing and redoing and undoing and redoing shit.
Yeah. Which makes
So
the
the federal government really just
business.
needs to let the states decide what they want to do for themselves, and then
government should be limited and as local as possible. The most powerful politician in your life should be somebody that you can have a meeting with. If you can't have a meeting with the president shouldn't have any power over you. If it, if I, and one day I should probably do this. I should see if I can get a meeting with somebody in city council, or if I could see if I can get a meeting with the mayor, how difficult it would be.
It's probably
If I get a
very
meeting with
difficult.
him, great. We're good. You can have some say over my life. But if I can't get a meeting with you, no, sir, you get no say over my life.
I mean, if there was an easy fix, I imagine people would have fixed it by now.
Well, I think it was fixed, and then we kept fucking it up.
Well, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Because everybody has ideas on how to make things better.
Yeah. No.
So I'm trying not to. And then even Twitter, I'm about ready to like completely leave Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's a fucking. It's always been a cesspool.
It is a
really
cesspool,
just,
but all you see on there anymore are videos of like violent shit people are doing in the streets in every state.
yeah. What was that one you were showing me the other day? It was a guy.
They
This
were
guy-
fighting over a parking spot.
Yeah.
And oh no, which one are you talking about?
Where the
they
guy
sucker punched him?
right, the guy got sucker punched, and the guy who did the sucker punching,
They were at a
there was
liquor
something-
store.
Yeah. Sucker punches this guy. The guy goes down. There's other people there. They try to get the guy away from him, but the guy gets another shot in. The guy who's on the ground gets up, stumbles out the door, pulls a gun, and puts two in the guy's chest. And he's out because he's like, all right, well, I'm out.
Well, the
Now-
video was graphic because, I mean, the guy died and they didn't try to like.
Save him.
Usually they try. Well, I mean, this is where Twitter is different than like what you'd see on television.
Yeah.
Television would have cut the video when he fired the shot.
Yeah.
But because you're on Twitter, you get to see the whole video play out. And I mean, that wasn't a recent thing. That happened a bit ago. But everybody has their own opinions on whether that guy was defending himself or whatever.
And I struggle
just-
with it when I watched it even.
Yeah, it's just the amount of violence you see. There was another one where this man and woman were fighting with another man about a parking spot, and they stabbing him and hitting him over the head with a baseball bat and everything. And then you see videos of people stealing shit left and right out of stores and nothing's getting like. I don't want to believe that that's the country we live in right now. It's like in my everyday life, my going to work and I don't see the hatred that people have. You just don't see it. I mean, you'll run into.
I don't think
a
it's
whack
as
job.
bad as people. The news people would want you to believe that shit is rampant as everywhere. But honestly, just like you're saying, when in your life, if you think about it, when you're walking about, first of all, do you feel like at any moments you're going to get sucker punched?
But see, that's the thing. Like you're in your car, you never know when you pull in front of someone and they get crazy, and like it's just it makes you always worried that there's some whack job out there. And I know they're out there, but the amount of hatred you see, the vile shit people spew toward other people. I mean, it's really, I'm about ready to, and the only reason I got on Twitter was honestly a school thing and just following other educators and, people
Sharing
in
ideas.
education and like companies that deal with education and things like that. And then like your freaking celebrities that don't matter, like what are they doing on Twitter? It's just gotten to be, I can't even, there is none of that anymore. It's just all political, social upheaval. And TikTok, at least with TikTok, you see crazy shit on TikTok too. If you don't go and read the comments and you just swipe up and not watch the crazy shit, normally what you see on your feed in TikTok are things similar to things you've interacted with. So like,
and it's usually more fun stuff.
I watch, there's a lot of teacher TikTok things, like whatever. I'll tend to like those. So I get a lot of those in my feed. Comedians, I get a lot of that coming up. Every now and then you'll see, I'm getting tired of like the people who are having some trauma in their life and they run straight to TikTok and cry on TikTok about it. Like, what are you expecting to get from total strangers who you know are half of them are going to tell you how
Yeah.
wonderful you are, even if you aren't. And the other half are going to tell you how horrible you are, even if you aren't.
Yeah.
So you can't really trust anything anybody's telling you. Just stay out of the comments, click the like button. That's all we need. Speaking of videos going viral, I have I'm on Instagram mainly for my Color Street stuff. I don't do much in Instagram.
Yeah.
I can't really figure out Instagram. Like I follow people on it, but it's so random to me.
Yeah.
What you see. And I like the fact that there's not as much commenting. Basically, it's just you putting out. I don't see as much hate on Instagram as you see on Twitter, and then sometimes TikTok too. A lot of times TikTok. I started doing reels of just little videos of me putting my nails on. One of them has like 42,000 views. I kept getting notified. I had to turn the notifications off on my watch because I was at work and it was like ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I kept getting. So now I need to figure out how to turn that into potential customers. The problem is that relies on me reaching out to a total random stranger on a social media platform, which I do not trust.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the names of them don't seem real.
Well, there's a lot of bots. There's always going to be a lot of bots.
Yeah.
And because especially with Instagram and Facebook, because Facebook doesn't care if it's a bot, just running numbers up. They don't really care because it makes their numbers go up. When Elon Musk took over Twitter, they cleared out a bunch of bots because it was one of the things that skewed the numbers.
Yeah, I mean it does. Obviously, I have a video that's got 40,000 views.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously not all bots, but there's probably a few bots.
Yeah. Well, I've had a bunch of people also start following me from the video because it'll say so-and-so started following you from this reel.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple times, like I would click just to look at their profile. And if they seemed like one girl had like 600 and something followers, but no posts. And I'm like, well, that's
bot.
I don't get that. Right. Yeah. One lady was a real estate. She had a lot of personal pictures. Was a real estate agent, so I did like send a message saying, hey, thanks for liking the reel. Like if you've never tried Color Street. And here's the second thing, like I'll send you a sample. But I'm going to have to send the sample without a return address on it because there's no way I'm putting my actual address on something to a total stranger.
Well, do you want to do a P.O. box? I mean, we can get a P.O. box up at the UPS store.
What, for this one person I reached out to?
No, I'm saying if this becomes something that you do frequently, we could get a P.O. box either at the actual post office or we can get, they sell them up at the Pack Mail or the UPS store around
right now. I'm in no position to need that.
That's,
especially since I am very hesitant to reach out to any. I just don't want to like the reels having to make them public, even on Facebook. I don't know, anything going out public that anybody can interact to just makes me feel like I'm going to get hacked at any second.
You won't get hacked, but
well, I could get hacked. What was that?
It's a hacker.
Yeah, just hacking into my iPad. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know if it, I got to figure out how to do that though. How to like, really the only way to do it. In the reels I have, find me at www.polishmyway.com, which is my link tree for all the business stuff. So I started putting that like in the reel so that I wouldn't necessarily have to like reach out to people personally, but
could look at a P.O. box though. How expensive is a P.O. box?
I have no idea.
Because we could do that if for as a return address, if somebody wants to do that, if your business starts expanding like that, and maybe even for stuff on here.
I'd have to get
something.
Right.
If you guys want to send us stuff to the P.O. box instead of donating cash to the at with a
Stop.
$, K Rose VA.
All right. I have a game I want to play with you today.
Something new, something not card related. So,
I'm gonna read you some headlines,
okay.
and I want you to tell me if you think they're real or fake.
All right.
Okay. So the first headlines is NASA is installing internet on the moon.
No, that can't be real.
You don't think that's real?
Why? There's nobody there. They're not sending anybody back to the moon for another 10 years. There's no reason for the internet to be there.
Okay. So all of these headlines, they were all from stories that were published online, but only some of them are real. Some were made up. So you're going to be a fake news detective. Okay. So you say NASA installing internet on the moon is
Bullshit.
fake. Ready?
Yeah.
That is real.
What? Why?
It says this is really happening. NASA will be building a 4G network on the moon, enabling them to control lunar robots. This story was reported by Newsround, The Independent, and several other sites. They can't even get the 5G to work at the Harris Teeter where I live. So before we put 4G on the moon, can we get the 5G working like in this major area that I live in?
Yeah, because
I don't live out in the boondocks.
Yeah, we were at the Teeter earlier picking up groceries, and then she was like, "I'm going to order Starbucks." Oh no, we can't because neither one of us we got 0 bars. It's all fucked up.
I couldn't even check in at Harris Teeter to tell them I was there to pick up my groceries because there was no signal.
Yeah.
And it really is very irritating. All right, story number 2. Are you ready? A university banned the use of capital letters to avoid scaring students.
That can't be real. There's no way that's real.
That's exactly what you said about the internet on the moon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but there's still a thing as proper English.
Right, but don't you think that like through this whole
pussification
texting thing or emails, if you put it in all caps, it's like someone's yelling at you, and then people get all like
the phone. Well, I mean, the phone and most of your what do you call them? Document typer things. What do you call them? Word documents or Google Docs. They capitalize the first letter for you anyway by default.
I know, but you can make everything in all caps if you're wanting to seem very like.
Yeah, if you're angry.
If you want to be aggressive, you put everything in all capital letters.
So they're saying.
So in order to protect the student, don't you think?
God, I hope not. I
mean, they have rooms with kittens in them where they can go and like pet the kittens.
Jesus Christ! I guess. I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true. I'm still going to say.
I don't know if it's true or not because I haven't hit the button.
I'm going to hold out hope that it's false.
Okay, so I'm going to reveal. University banned the use of capital letters to avoid scaring students is fake.
Thank God. Jesus Christ.
It says some real guidance given by a university was misreported to seem more dramatic. They reported it in all capital letters, probably. Couple in California named baby with emoji.
God, I hope that's not true, but it probably is.
How would you say? Smiley face with hard eyes. Is that what you would call them? Or like,
oh my God,
winky face?
Winky face.
Come here, winky face.
Oh, the third kid's poop emoji. That's when you stop having kids. Jesus.
My name is winky face poop emoji. Are you saying fake?
Yeah, it's got. I hope it's fake, but it's probably real.
That's fake.
Thank God.
This story was completely made up and shared by a satirical news site. If you're unsure about a story, remember to question the source. You can't even question the sources anymore because sources I thought were legit news sites report some bullshit now too. So
yeah, well, the major news, every news organization, every single one of them has a bias. Some of them are a little bit more honest about it than others, but every single one of them has a bias.
Someone mentioned to me they get a news brief emailed to them daily from 1440. That's the second time I've heard that. They're very just like facts, detail, like this is what happened. Well, and there's no slant. I think I want to check it out.
All right, let's check it out.
8-year-old girl pulls medieval sword from lake.
That might be true. I can see that happening. Not like Lady in the Lake type shit. I mean, I can imagine at some point there's a battle and a sword gets dropped in a lake and just no one's ever stumbled across it. Little girls.
How can an
playing in
8-year-old
fucking-
girl stumble across it?
Well, I mean, she's in the fucking around in the lake.
If it's deep enough where an 8-year-old can find it, don't you think somebody else would have found it?
I don't know. I'm still thinking that this is one of those. It sounds weird, but it probably did happen.
Okay, that's real.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Now that's awesome. She gets to keep the sword. That is her sword.
That was reported by The Guardian, the BBC, and many other sources.
That's awesome. I hope it's in good shape and she gets to keep it and
Sell it.
Yeah. Well, maybe so.
Why would you want to keep it? Sell it.
Yeah. Well, just because of there's so much lore about swords being found, like obviously King Arthur and all of that, but
Is that real?
what King Arthur?
Mm-hmm.
There's real to it, but as far as like all of the stuff about pulling the sword,
how would you know it's medieval if you found it and not just like?
I mean, I'm sure somebody when
some
they pulled
prop
it up,
of
somebody, it could have been a prop too, I guess.
A movie sometime that got filmed.
Because if it was in England, there's a lot of films that were filmed. It could have been from fucking Monty Python for that matter. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But I imagine what they did was they took it to an expert, and the expert did the carbon dating on it and testing and metallurgy.
Would you do that if you found something in a lake like that, or would you just assume it was some kind of prop or toy or something?
Depending on how it looked. Like, if it's like if you found an arrowhead in Virginia, you kind of assume it's a real deal arrowhead.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you question it, you might get it tested. But I mean, you can just kind of assume it's a real deal Indian head arrowhead or musket or whatever. But if you're, you find something that's like a full blown, hey, this looks like, or it's a real musket, rifle. Yeah, I'd probably take it to get it looked at, see if it's legit.
All right, you ready for number 5?
Sure.
German street covered in chocolate after leak from a chocolate factory.
Ooh. I'm going to say that's true.
Germany is known for its chocolate.
Germany is known for its chocolate.
But how would you not be able to stop chocolate from leaking all over the street? Like, you would think you'd be able to stop it.
Yeah, if it's melted chocolate in a processing plant, you get a big vat of it that's hot. I imagine it's actually kind of a fucked up situation, really.
All right. That is real.
That happened.
This delicious accident really happened. A ton of chocolate leaked from a chocolate factory in Westerner, covering the pavement. The Washington Post reported that one.
All right, now.
Is the Washington Post reliable?
I think so, yeah.
Is it the New York Post that's maybe not?
The Washington Post is the one that got banned from Twitter for the Hunter Biden story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were right. They were absolutely proven right. That's amazing.
All right, number 6, school bans parents from sports day for bad behavior. The
Like all
parents
or individual
bad
parents?
behavior. I'm assuming. Like parents that go and they're like screaming at the umpires and shit like that.
You could read that a couple ways. Are they banning all parents, or are they saying they're banning specific parents?
It says they ban parents for bad behavior, so I'm not assuming it's all parents. Although I don't know, it doesn't say.
It really is not clear. So
some parents acting crazy at a sporting event, and they say no more parents at sporting events anymore.
I can't see that happening. I really can't. I can see banning individual parents, but I can't see banning all parents. But I can see a headline where they would say that, and everybody would be like, "Fuck that! I'm going to my kid's sporting thing," and they happen to read it, and they're like, "Oh, they just meant Fred."
Also depends on the age of the kid.
Yeah.
Like if they're high school kids, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Little kids, I would be like, "Look, dude, you don't need to be here acting like a fool." All right, we're gonna find out if that's fake or real. You're saying it's
I'm gonna go with fake.
That's real. A school banned parents from attending sports day after becoming too competitive and threatening staff.
But you don't ban all parents. You just ban those ones that are being assholes.
Well, you kind of have to ban all parents. You'd be like, look, we keep having these parents come here threatening staff. We're just not having parents anymore. It sucks, but sometimes that's the shit that happens.
I think there's a real issue that people want to do. Just the idea that if you have to do for one, you have to do for everybody. I don't think that's right. I think there is such a thing as an individual, your individual choices lead to individual outcomes. So if you're a dick at your kids' sporting games and they say, "Yeah, sorry, you can't come here anymore because you're a dick," then you don't ban all parents because that one guy's a dick. You ban the guy that's being a dick. I think that's how hard is that?
Who has to complain about him being a dick?
Probably some Karen.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, then you're putting the staff in judgment. They have to make a judgment.
You have to. Well, that's
is this
fine.
parent crossing the line? Am I being too sensitive? I really love the student. I don't want to do that. And you start to get into this, like, why wasn't that parent banned for saying blah, 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 but I got banned? You're better off if they're little kids, like in this picture, they're like elementary school kids.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you'd be better off just saying we can't have parents come to the events anymore.
Yeah. I'm not.
Now, here's the thing. The first year we ever did a talent show at my school, remember?
Yeah.
The parents in the audience talked with each other in groups through a lot of the talent show. And then as soon as their kid got off the stage, they would grab their kid and leave. So by the end of the show, there were hardly any parents left at all. And they were all up and moving around and talking. And the kids on stage were not hardly being like, do you address just the parents that are making the noise? Or do you say, hey, look, everybody, let's show some respect for the children that are getting up here and doing this. You have to knock out the talking. You have to not just get up and leave.
Yeah.
Or we're going to have to stop having this event.
You could do that. You stop the show and you go out and you make your announcement. I get that.
Because if you're doing sports day, it sounds like field day.
Yeah.
Right? We call it field day. You do it once a year. So a parent shows up and they're belligerent with you that year. What do? You say, well, next year you can't come to sports day. And then by the next year, probably forgotten. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's a daily thing that they can just say, okay, tomorrow you're not allowed to come to these games anymore. This is like a once a year event.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, of course, Kevin said you can't do one. And I've many times told my class, if we don't all toe the line, we're not going out to recess, but I can't do that anymore. But,
yeah, what are you gonna do?
We just won't be able to do this if you all don't get it together. And it's not like all of my kids are misbehaving, but enough of them to keep me from getting my work done. What do? I say, oh, you guys go sit over here. I'll give you the treat. And you guys sit over here and I won't give you the treat. And then I have those kids melting down and tearing the room apart because they didn't get a cupcake like this kid did. It's really difficult.
That reminds me, this past week, I had my first community guidelines smackdown from Facebook. So it was awesome.
He suggested someone throat punch somebody and Facebook wouldn't put the comment up.
Yeah, they gave me a thing. They said it's a strike against you. I'm like, oh, well, so. But that's a joke that I've done forever. I've talked about throat punching. I firmly believe, especially if you're a young girl, one thing you need to have in your repertoire ready to go is a throat punch. You get in a situation.
You better be careful. YouTube might let us post this.
True. That's true too. So.
All right. Story number 7. Spinach is taught how to send emails.
No, that's gotta be false.
I was thinking, I can't even play devil's advocate on that one because how?
Yeah.
That has to be fake, right? It's real.
What? What kind of fucking
this viral
shit
story
is that?
Seems too good to be true, but was reported by trustworthy news sources like the Telegraph and the Huffington Post.
Yeah, that's somebody who got government money and they're just spending government money.
Is the Huffington Post legitimate news?
I mean, they're biased, but I mean, they still have some clout.
How could you teach Spinach how to send an email?
That's somebody who's getting a check.
Was it someone named Spinach?
I don't know.
All right.
I mean, Popeye can't send an email.
Hold
so
on.
fucking. But here's the thing. Fuck, man, shit. Whoa, what the hell? Um, I don't even know what to think about that. I really, it's got to be a situation where somebody got a government grant for $20,000 to do this experiment, and they pocketed most of the money, and they bought a bunch of spinach, and was trying to teach it how to do email. Probably cost them, $45, to do,
You ready?
and they got $25,000 worth of grant money.
When the spinach roots detect the presence of nitro aromatics in groundwater, a compound often found in explosive like landmines, the carbon nanotubes within the plant leaves emit a signal. This signal is then read by an infrared camera, sending an email to the scientists.
Wait, so they're trying to find landmines? What? That's stupid. How the fuck does that even work? You're going to plant spinach in a
You
minefield?
have to be walking through the minefield.
You have to be
digging.
walking through the minefield, digging to plant the spinach. Just, oh shit, there's a minefield here. We got an email from Fred the Leaf there. That Fred at spinach patch number 47 sent us an email that there's a landmine over here.
It says through nanotechnology engineers at MIT.
You know what? I changed my mind. These people got a fucking $1 million from the government to experiment on this. They didn't get $25,000.
Keep reading.
They got a fucking $1 million.
I need to read.
Through
nanotechnology, engineers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have transformed spinach into sensors capable of detecting explosive materials. These plants are then able to wirelessly relay this information back to the scientists.
Yeah,
pretty much.
They got $1 million from the government to do that. That's your tax dollars at work right there.
Interesting.
That is your tax dollars. That should piss you right the fuck off.
I don't know. It just sounds cheaper than metal detection at the airport.
Except you got to plant
have to walk through
in a minefield to find out if there's a minefield. I think whoever volunteers to plant the spinach might find out a little faster.
Can you just put this bag of spinach in your pants, and we'd like to see if you're carrying any explosive?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be TSA. They'll just have spinach leaves. They just start smacking people with spinach leaves. He's clean.
Gorilla learns to knit.
That's real. That's got to be real. I can see a gorilla.
I would believe that a gorilla could knit before I would believe that a spinach.
Hell yeah.
Send an email.
Yeah.
So we're saying real.
We're saying real.
That's fake.
God damn it.
Gorillas are impressive, but they haven't mastered knitting yet.
I guess because you need opposable. Well, they got opposable.
It was a fake story based off a fake photo on the internet.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's all I have on that. Were we good? Let's see, Kevin. How good were you at spotting fake news? You got the moon question wrong.
Yeah.
You got the university ban the capital letters question right. You count the ones you got right.
All right. So I got one right.
You got the couple with the California right. You got the medieval sword one right. You got the German chocolate one right.
I got that wrong.
The school band's parents you got wrong. Spinach you got wrong. But the gorillas you got right. So you're slightly higher than 50%.
I got the gorilla wrong. I thought he could do it.
Oh, you're slightly less than 50%.
Jesus.
You got more wrong than right.
Oh, well. But I mean, really, the spinach thing is such horseshit. I mean, what the fuck, man? Seriously, what the fuck?
I could see if it was could detect that you were also growing illegal substances.
That's still stupid because somebody would have to say, well, I'm going to grow some pot, but I guess I'll grow some spinach so it can send an email to the NSA.
You're not thinking the spinach is going to send an email. You're like, I'm going to hide this pot in the spinach patch.
Yeah, because the pot grows this tall and the spinach grows this tall.
I mean, if you're planting pot, anyway.
We live in a crazy, crazy world.
What we have found out today is Kevin is not very good at recognizing fake news. Next week, you do me.
Okay.
Let's see how good I am at recognizing fake
All right.
news.
I'm 100% down. This is a good game. I like it.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Mom leaves for California on Thursday.
Yeah.
She actually is flying to Atlanta, staying overnight in Atlanta, and then they're flying to California from Atlanta. Got to tell you a story. Mom might get mad if we tell the story.
I don't know if we want to tell the story, but we done talked about
Did we
it
tell
now,
the story? I'll tell you what. I'll ask Mom for her permission to tell the story. And if she gives her permission, then we'll tell it next time.
There we go. Cliffhanger, everybody. All right. Like, comment, share, Cash App. Let us know in the comments if you want us to get a P.O. box. That'd be great.
Why would they care if we have a P.O. box? We're not getting a P.O. box.
No, we're not getting a P.O.
Unless
box.
I can somehow do Color Street as a supplement for my income when I retire. There's no need for a P.O. box.
That's true.
I have like a very tiny business.
Yeah.
So
All
we
right.
don't need any more expenses. I can tell you that right now.
No, true that.
True that. All right. So until next week.
Bye, everybody.